Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Comet Rising by Marcykate Connolly, narrated by Rachel L. Jacobs. Chapter 1. I have not cast a shadow in 2 months, 3 days, and 11 hours. There is nothing tethered to my feet, no one imitating my every move, no one whispering in my ear. Everything else around me does cast one, and I can scoop them up and mold them with my shadowcraft. It is only me who has to go without her constant companion. I never fully understood what it was like to be alone until now. My shadow, Dar, resides upstairs, locked in the attic in a cage of shadow and light. It's safer that way. This morning, my best friend Lucas and I have been practicing our talents on the beach below our cliffside cottage, while his parents tend to their garden. Talents, like Lucas's light singing and my shadow weaving, are rare and only bless children once every 25 years, when the Cerelia Comet soars through the sky. We were hunted in our previous home in Perilla, but here in Abacho, Lady Ashling, the woman who wishes to steal our magic and my shadow, cannot reach us. At least, not yet. A few weeks ago, we mastered fishing with light hooks and shadow ropes. Lucas's parents let us catch all the fish now, and our icebox is already full, although it's not even midday. So Lucas is practicing skipping light over the water, turning it into discs that move like stones but never sink. I sit in the sand with my legs outstretched and ankles crossed, laughing while he makes the light shimmy and dance with his song. There are not as many shadows here in Abacho compared to where I grew up. My first home was filled with trees and hidden nooks. But here, next to the ocean, the sun is always high overhead, and the trees are thinner. I have learned to improvise. The ocean contains more shadows than one might think. Those cast by reefs and seaweed, and even the little shadows cast by fish braving the shallows are mine for the taking. This morning, I've exhausted myself trying to pull them from deeper waters. The ocean is vast, and I can feel the darkness lurking under the waves, like someone breathing down my neck. Something about the water seems to dull my call, too, so practicing takes more out of me than pulling shadows through the air. But every day, I get a little better. "Lucas, Emmeline," Miranda calls from the top of the cliff. "You'd better bring in your catch. It's almost time for lunch." Together, we lift the icebox and carry it up the winding footpath to the cottage. When we walk in the door, Miranda already has the fixings for sandwiches set out on the table, just waiting for Lucas to arrive and toast the bread. But before we've even set down our catch, a terrible scream echoes through the house, rattling my bones. "What on earth is Dar up to now?" Miranda says, glancing uneasily at the ceiling. I quickly put together a sandwich and trudge up the stairs. The wailing continues, growing more piercing by the minute. I pause to take a deep breath before opening the attic door. It's always best to brace myself before facing Dar. At least we have no neighbors to complain about the noise. Sometimes I wonder what my parents would think if they could see Dar now. They never did believe she was real when she was just my shadow. When I enter the little attic room, I nearly drop the tray with Dar's sandwich. It's the same as I left it this morning. Plain and sparse, with fresh daffodils in a vase on the table by the window that looks out on the sea. But Dar is different. Usually, she plays coy and mimics me as I enter, then begs and pleads to be released. But I did not expect this. Dar is wearing my shape today, as she often does. But something is off. She has worn her fingernails to the nub, scratching at the bars of her shadow and light cage. Her hair is disheveled, and a thin line of blood trickles down her forehead onto her right cheek, almost like she's been banging her head against the bars. Now she sits in one corner of the cage, clutching her knees to her chest and rocking back and forth, wailing like something out of a nightmare. Dar. I keep my voice as steady as possible while I slip the sandwich tray through the bars. What happened? She stops her wailing and stares at me like she's seen a ghost. Fear slithers down my neck, but I shake it off. Dar lunges, tears streaming unchecked, and I step back. She has tried every argument possible to convince me to release her from the cage. Could this be another trick? She seems truly distressed, but she deceived me for so long. I can't trust myself to tell for certain. It's unnerving to see her behave like this while wearing my face. Some days she shifts into Miranda, Lucas, Alfred, or one of the strange creature shapes she loved when she was a shadow. But she always returns to me. My shape. I suspect it feels a little like home. Emmeline, Dar says hoarsely. It's happening. She scratches at her face and then shudders. What do you mean? What is happening? Her brow creases and more tears spill over her cheeks. Can't you feel it? The shiver in your bones creeping into your skin, tingling with power. She scratches her forearm, and I realize scrapes cover her hands, neck, and face. It makes me itchy. I'm sorry, Dar, but I don't feel anything like that. My former shadow has been a handful ever since I made her flesh again. Guilt twinges in my chest. Being locked in an attic may have something to do with that. But it is too risky to set her loose. If free, she will take her revenge on Lady Aisling, her sister, without any care for the destruction she might leave in her wake. Oh, but you will, and soon. It's coming. Clutching the bars, Dar gazes out the window as if she fears someone is sitting just outside waiting to pounce. She's baiting me. But I can't deny I'm curious. What is coming, Dar? The comet, she whispers. I frown. The comet, not the... Yes, the Cerelia Comet. That's impossible. It passes by once every 25 years. It's only been 13 since the last time. Fear flashes in Dar's eyes. It's Lady Aisling. It has to be. It is the only explanation. She scratches at her neck. She did something. She brought it back early to have more children to plant in her garden and harvest at her leisure. I recoil. Lady Aisling is pure evil. She is a magic eater. From her estate in Zinnia, she sends out hunters to gather up talented children under the guise of curing them. Then she transforms them into flowers, keeping them alive in her garden of souls so she can steal their powers whenever she pleases. She's the reason Lucas's family and I are in hiding. She wants my talent, and Lucas's too. And she wants her sister back. She is the one thing that scares me more than Dar being set free. And Dar knows it. This must be a trick. A big one. Dar must have been planning it for some time. I fold my arms across my chest. That is impossible, and you know it. No one can change a comet's path. Are you sure? Dar says. What if there's a talent out there that could? I shiver, but my glare doesn't waver. I highly doubt that. Dar pushes her face against the shadow and light bars. You must let me out. Please, Emmeline. This is too important. I know, Lady Aisling, and I am the only one who can stop her. You must set me free right now. And there it is. That is all she wants. Everything else she says or does is just a lie. Well, she fooled me for years. I won't let her do it again. I'm no longer the naive girl who ran away from home so many months ago. Nice try, Dar. I head for the door. Keep it down in here, all right? No, Emmeline, you must listen. The comet is coming tonight. I swear I'm telling the truth. I felt it before when I was just a shadow. Now that I'm human again, it's even stronger. I shake my head. She looks pitiful in that cage. If I didn't know better, I might believe her. I'm not letting you out, and that's final. I close the door behind me, and Dar's shrieks follow me down the stairs. It's coming! It's coming! Even though I know it is not true, I pull all the shadows in the stairway around me like a cloak for comfort. Just in case. Chapter 2. Later that evening, when dusk begins to fall, I linger outside longer than usual, soaking up the shadows. Dar's words have stuck with me all day. Tiny barbs I cannot pluck off. After I told Lucas and his parents what she said, Lucas offered to bring Dar her supper tonight in my place. Now I'm out here enjoying my shadows, thin wisps of smoke circling my arms and weaving through my hair like ribbons. They dodge and twirl at my command, always playful and pleased to have some of my attention. The day may belong to Lucas, but the night is all mine. Lucas opens the front door and shakes his golden head at me. I sigh. I take it her dinner went well?
About as well as you'd expect. He shrugs. She was mad I wasn't you at first, but then she tried the same story on me.
We make our way down to the beach. The moon is rising in the sky, and it lights our path. When we hit the sand, we break into a run, the sea breeze whipping my hair as I collect shadows around me. Lucas pulls bits of starlight into an orb that hovers over our heads to complement the moonlight. Where the cliff meets the ocean, the water retreats at low tide, revealing a strip of sand and rocks that leads to ocean caves, usually hidden by the waves. We make our way quickly, knowing the tide will come in faster than we'd like. It isn't long before the caves appear. We have yet to explore them all, but one is our favorite. It's more of a nook, but it has sides worn smooth and provides the perfect spot for us to sit and watch the stars at night, or the gulls swoop and play during the day. We scramble inside our cave and sit, tucking our legs beneath us. Lucas's orb floats to the back and settles. He pulls out a handful of taffies and offers one to me. I savor it while we watch the rest of the stars come out. The darkness under the waves is stronger at night, and the pull here is magnetic. I cannot help but stare, mesmerized by the ocean crashing a few yards away from us.
"Do you think she's right?"
Lucas says after a while. Something tickles my arm and I scratch it absent-mindedly. Of course not. It's just another lie. I sigh, glancing with a pang of jealousy at Lucas's shadow. Everything she says is a lie. Something seemed different this time. Lucas rubs his ear. No, she never changes. I don't think she ever will. And that is the trouble with Dar. We had hoped she might calm down after spending some time locked up. But it has only made her wilder. We have yet to decide what to do about her, though I know Miranda and Alfred discuss the subject when they think we're asleep. Even without Dar by my side, I haven't fully shed my habit of eavesdropping. It really is the best way to find out important things the adults don't want you to know. My cheek twinges and I scratch it. I call more shadows to me and craft them into a soft cushion. We settle onto it and fall into a reassuring silence as we watch the waves and the stars together. It's peaceful here. And after the spectacle of the afternoon, it's what I needed most. Lucas senses it. Another itch pinches my calf, and I scratch that too. I frown.
"Emmeline!"
Lucas cries. I look in the direction he points, sucking my breath in sharply enough that my chest aches. Something brilliant sails across the night sky. Pure white light, almost like one of Lucas's orbs, with a long tail that sparkles like stardust trailing after it. As it passes over, tiny specks of light fall to the earth, dusting the ocean and the forest far beyond. I cannot move, even though my entire body is on fire, like 1,000 mosquitoes have bitten me all at once. The Cerelia Comet has returned. Chapter 3. Miranda and Alfred insist Lucas and I go to bed immediately after we run back inside, shaking like leaves. Dar howls upstairs, but after Miranda gives her a stern talking to, she settles down. I don't know whether they believe us, but I lay in my bed while curiosity consumes me from the inside out. In the past, Dar would wrap her shadowed form around me and whisper in my ear, goading me to sneak about and find out more. Don't you want to know, Emmeline? Just listen for a few minutes, and then we can go back to bed. I can't help it. I slide the covers off and set my feet on the cool floor. The shadows lurking in the room flock to me as I make my way out into the hall. This is not the first time I have done this without Dar, but I can't help feeling like something is missing. I tiptoe to the door of the kitchen and peek around the corner, my shadows camouflaging me in the dark. Miranda and Alfred stand over the kitchen table, which is littered with papers. Miranda's hair has slipped out of her usual braid and floats around her face, twisting with every gesture she makes. Alfred frowns so hard, his glasses keep sliding down the bridge of his nose.
"If the comet has truly returned early, it can only be a bad omen," Miranda says. "Something powerful had to have pulled it from its usual path to make this happen."
Alfred pushes his glasses back up his nose.
That should be impossible.
Miranda slaps her hand on the table and the papers jump.
No, it isn't, and you know it.
She picks a scroll off the table and holds it up.
See? Right here. That was 200 years ago. There haven't been any reports of a sky shaker in our lifetime.
Miranda huffs.
Well, there haven't been shadow weavers and light singers in a long time either. But here they are, under our roof.
Alfred looks like he just swallowed something unpleasant.
That's a fair point. But a sky shaker would know better. The risks of moving something like a comet into a new path are too great. A sky shaker might know better, but not Lady Aisling. Not if she stood to benefit,
Miranda says.
We need to inform the rest of the network immediately. We should go to the village tomorrow. The others need to know. This change in the comet's path could mean danger for us all, and we need to be ready.
Miranda rolls up the scroll and tucks it into a drawer. I make a mental note. I have seen that scroll before. I didn't know what to make of it at the time, but ever since Miranda and Alfred told us about the network of talented folks, I've understood. It's a list of the names, dates of birth, and locations of every known comet-blessed person. We all keep tabs on each other and help each other move around before Lady Aisling and her hunters come knocking. Of course, Miranda and Alfred don't know that I know all of this. This is why they sent us to bed early. They don't want us to be any more frightened than we already are. And they didn't want us to know about the possibility of a sky shaker. I've never heard of one, but it must be a fearsome talent if it can move a comet into a new path. I shiver as Alfred's words ring in my ears. What danger could the Cerelia Comet's new path bring? Miranda and Alfred embrace, and he kisses the top of her head. He puts away the papers while Miranda tidies up the kitchen. I wait a few beats more, just to be sure nothing else interesting is going to be said. Then tiptoe back to my room. I wish I had someone to share my newfound knowledge with. But Dar is out of the question, and Lucas might not look kindly on my eavesdropping on his parents. Instead, I lie awake, their words circling my brain in an endless loop. But it does not lull me to sleep. With every repetition, the icy fear that settled at the base of my spine the moment I saw the Cerelia Comet seeps into my veins. Dar was right. I know it in my bones. Lady Aisling has done something. Something terrible. And she is coming for us next. The next morning when I wake, my shadows are wrapped tightly around me despite the sun shining in through the windows. I don't want to let them go. With a sigh, I return them to their homes and dress quickly. Lucas's parents said something about going to the village, and I don't want to miss out. When I reach the kitchen, Lucas is already at the table with his family digging into breakfast. Miranda puts eggs on my plate and hands me the platter of toast. Miranda and Alfred are always warm and informal, so very different from my own parents. If I didn't eat with the right fork, my mother would scold me. But here I could eat with my fingers and Lucas's parents wouldn't even blink. I walked on eggshells all the time with my parents. But here, I finally feel like I belong. It feels like home.
We're going to the village this morning, Miranda says. We have an important meeting, but you and Lucas can explore the market on your own.
Who are you meeting? I ask innocently, but quickly shut my mouth at Miranda's stern expression.
Don't feel bad, Lucas says. I asked her the same thing.
I smile at him and polish off my breakfast. Lucas is as curious about the network as I am, but his light can't give him the knowledge my darkness can. Soon we head for the village. I miss the old cottage in Perilla. The trip to the village there was full of trees and shadows, even on sunny days. But here it's nothing but sparse grass and trees that are tall and spindly and spaced apart. Their wide leaves make odd shadows here and there. I twirl a couple on my fingers, letting them circle my wrists and make their way up my arms. With a snap of my fingers, they pull my hair back from my face, fastening it in a neater bow than I could ever tie with my own hands. Beside me, Lucas toys with sparks of light. But as we get close, his parents stop us.
Emmeline, put away your shadows. Lucas, leave the light alone.
While Abacho is supposed to be safe, it's best our talents remain hidden. The village is homey and friendly, and most of the villagers have already learned our names. As far as they're concerned, I am Lucas's sister, and we are a family of farmers and fishers who live along the coast. Our secrets have not been guessed, and hopefully they never will. The houses are crafted from stone and wood, with slanted slate roofs. Most are shades of the seashore, tan beach sands, creamy ocean foam dotted with deep blues and greens. Sometimes the salty scent of the sea wafts by on the wind, even stronger when it rains. Today the sky threatens overhead, churning grays and casting shadows from the buildings and the people every which way. It's just the sort of day I love best. And so did Dar. I swallow the pang of loss as we wander into the village. People smile at us in greeting, and when we get to the market square, I've begun to relax. Everything here is normal. Still, I glance warily at the sky, remembering Alfred's words about the comet from the night before. We run freely through the crowd, though with strict instructions to return to the entrance in 1 hour. We make a beeline for the baker's cart that sells sticky buns and chocolate tarts. Miranda and Alfred disappear into the throng before we even turn around. Lucas frowns as he takes a bite of his treat. What do you think their meeting is all about? I bite my tongue before answering. Maybe it has something to do with the comet? His eyes flash. It must. I wish they'd let us help. Our talents are not for nothing, you know? He kicks a stone in front of him in frustration. I take a deep breath. Well, I say, we could follow them, if you wanted to, just to see what they're up to. I glance away quickly. Or not. It was just a thought. I don't want Lucas to think me bad, but he seems to be as curious as I am. He does not scold me. Instead, his face breaks into a sly grin. Can you hide us in your shadows? I nearly laugh out loud. Last night, I was concerned what he'd think of me for spying on his parents, and now here he is, suggesting the very same thing. Somehow that makes me feel a little less guilty. Of course I can. It's a gloomy enough day that no one will notice an extra shadow bouncing around. Come on. I motion toward an empty stall and we duck behind it. Then I call the shadows from carts and banners and the people forming the crowd and mold them into a hazy blanket. No one can see us behind it. Or, at least, most people can't. I shudder, remembering Simone. Poor girl. She's a mind reader, stolen by Lady Aisling and turned into a shell of a person. The girl is in there still somewhere, but the lady controls her most of the time. She could see through my shadow.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?